What's up, Point of Inspiration listeners? I just wanted to remind you to check out our Twitter and Instagram at PoiPodDND. That's POIPODDND to get reminders of when we release new episodes, as well as hear from our awesome content creators and see the amazing Point of Inspiration art created by Martial Arts. I look forward to seeing you there. But now, let's get into the pregame shenanigans.
I woke up the other morning and I was like, why does my one side of my neck hurt? And I couldn't figure it out. And it was because I've been sitting in the middle and I've been playing Minecraft, so I've been facing the right screen for like 2 or 3 hours playing Minecraft. And I didn't turn my head back. So it was like my neck was like, why were you looking over there for so long? Just straight pain.
I rolled a 2 for my hit points.
Wah, wah.
Too bad.
Whatever, you still probably have double the hit points that I have, so it's
Well, I think that anybody has double the hit points that you. It's a low bar, Tim.
It's more like a chalk line on the ground.
All right, what a bummer.
All right. You probably remember, but in case you forgot, the end of the last session where everyone came out of the Endless Grotto and on their way back, they met with Perkins, who took Vargo away from the group to introduce him to the Warriors Guild. Thalen got a message from people unknown and followed that lead. Indra spent some time at the Temple of Ryu, and Alistair researched some things throughout the town and ended up taking a little field trip outside of town. And all of you did your own thing for about 6 days. At the end of 6 days, Alistair, Indra, and Vargo, you were all rounded up by Ko, and we're told that Thalen has been captured. So where we'll start today is that Ko has just gotten the 3 of you together and pointing you in the direction of where he last saw Thalen. And as he just gathers you all, you were picked up in a certain order, and now that all 4 of you are together, you're heading outside of the town with Ko in the lead, and he's telling you about what he saw. I have been out and about these last 2 days, ever since I saw you, Alistair. I left and went to pick up a new job, and again, I went back to a previous job that I had been told to go check out these grung, these toad-like people. And as I was trying to find them, I feel like I was on the right trail, and when I did, I felt like I saw what looked to be multiple people being taken in this direction. Thalen included. I don't know the other people, but I am worried for them and feel like I don't know these grung, what they do or what they're going to do to them, and I wanted to tell you all first because I know that Thalen is your friend.
Point us in the right direction. We got to go find him.
And so he's taken you in a northwestern direction, I believe, is the direction that I had it. But he's leading you out of the city, and go ahead, and as you're going, you're walking for a while, a couple hours. And as you are traveling, I'd like you all to make a survival check for me.
Modified 20.
Jesus.
Also modified 20.
What?
We
Whoa.
Well, you're going to even Ko out. He rolled a 2. So with an average around 11 or 12, you do seem like you're on the right trail. Code tells you he is losing the trail. Like, he knows the direction that they're going, but he can't find any footprints. And Indra and Vargo, you come up to him and you're like, well, this, like, do these look like the type of footprints that you should be looking for? And you kind of redirect his attention, and he's like probably 80% sure.
I feel like we're like, yeah, it's a huge group of people. Like it's like a stampede.
I assumed that the grung footsteps would be different than this, right? Like, I didn't really pay attention to their feet, and I assumed that they had some sort of like webbing or so. I've never worked with or against these toad-like creatures. Do you know anything about them?
No. Are there footsteps of the? Sorry, this is environment question. Are there footsteps of people too, or is it just grung footsteps?
You don't know what grung footsteps look like.
Well, is there people does it look like people footsteps?
There
I guess
are,
is what I'm
yeah,
asking.
like again, as we kind of, I rounded the 4 of our rolls. There are humanoid footsteps. You're not quite
Okay.
sure.
Can I look closer at him?
Sure. Go ahead. Make an investigation check for me.
Dude, my rolls are nice right now. 15.
Okay. You notice a couple different types of footsteps. With a 15, you do see a larger type of footstep going in one direction. And as you walk, you're kind of paying close attention to these footprints because Ko is pointing you in the direction, and you are kind of keeping an eye specifically on the tracks that you're trying to follow. And because your whole group was able to find these tracks, you were able to kind of inspect them a little bit more. The weird part is that there are footprints that are going in this direction, but then there's also like different types of footprints that are going in all sorts of directions. So you do get a feel that the majority of like this like big group is going in the direction that Ko is leading you. But there's also these footprints that seem like they're dragging something, whether it be dragging their feet or something like that, also going in other directions as well.
I would like to look out for anything that Thalen might have specifically dropped to signal which way he was going, like a little action figure guy, a green hat, something like that.
Okay, Thalen, do me a favor, and we'll retcon a roll here, and let's say let's just go like a straight intelligence check to see if he would think to do that.
Retcon, it's just a flashback,
Right,
nobody's seen what happens. We're just flashing back to.
Ah, geez, I wonder if I left anything. I rolled a 10.
A 10.
Yeah.
I would say that you probably didn't think to drop something specific, but let's see. Let's roll a sleight of hand to see. And this one you're going to want a low roll, because if you have a low sleight of hand, it means you dropped something.
Okay, well, I got a 15.
Well,
Great.
you didn't drop anything, so
You're not clumsy enough.
you couldn't find anything as you're walking. Again, you spent maybe an hour or two already kind of like following these tracks, and Ko is not going in like a very like fast speed because he's trying to like keep Vargo on these tracks and keep like his sense of where things are headed.
And he's got to keep roping me in from just wandering off in a random direction.
Exactly, yes. And so as you've been traveling, so far you haven't seen anything of Thalen's, Indra. As you're going, you are kind of following Ko. Vargo, make one more investigation check.
13.
Now, because it seems like you're getting closer to where they were headed, they seem fresher. Even though you aren't going necessarily faster, you see that the footsteps that you assume was this big group is more fresh. But then there are still these odd footsteps that you can't really tell why they look different, right? But they're not bigger or anything like that, but they just seem like they're being drug, or you just don't really get why they look like that.
Hey, do you guys see these like weird ones? Like like that one's pointed that way and that one's pointed that way. You guys see these like weird footprints?
I'm just gonna get a little closer and see if I can like divine any meaning from what's happening here versus the prints. Now that everyone's pointed out kind of what it is.
Okay, so what do you mean by divine? What are you doing are you just looking at it?
So yeah, just trying to kind of see now that he's pointed it out, because I didn't see it initially, what it might indicate as far as where Thalen went, or if his footprints are still present, or if it seems more like he might be the one that was being dragged.
Okay, go ahead and we'll say another investigation check then.
Okay, 7.
They look just... I think what you see with that is just that the footsteps are different, right? They're not normal footsteps, and it's not even necessarily that they're not like, the right size or the right type of foot or anything. They just, something looks off about them.
But is there still a direction, or is it now just a cluster?
The other ones, you're still seeing them. You're seeing them less. It's not like these footsteps that were odd were with this group. It seems like they're actually less fresh than the ones that you're kind of following, but they are, it seems like they're going in like weird aimless directions. It's not like they're following this group or anything like that, but they're not just like, random travel. It definitely seems like Vargo would know that they're still within the same couple of days of travel as the ones that you're following.
So this is like multiple paths, like lots of paths diverging.
Like
here?
in multiple different groups or single people walking around or whatever.
Was the dragging happening in the same direction as we were going, or was it off in one of the side directions?
You couldn't tell that.
Okay, guys, do we want to keep following the same path? What is it? What are you guys seeing?
I don't have a reason to not follow this path, but I just think it's weird that those footprints are like, I don't know,
Like
they
come here a lot.
Yeah, but they just seem so random.
Hmm.
And they're like clean looking. I don't know. It's hard to, like, they're easy to make out.
Is this still is there anything different about this area as far as the forest? Is this like a clearing, or is this still kind of the same level of?
It's not really. It's random trees here and there. It's not like you're not like necessarily in a huge forest of any type. They're getting thicker as far as like the trees are getting closer together, but they're not anything resembling anything different at the moment so far. Indra, go ahead and make a survival check with advantage.
DM, how many days are in each month?
30.
Okay, so we're in the 6th, and what is the new month?
This is the 6th day since Vargo left originally.
It's Vargo-tober.
Blurple. I got 11.
Okay, these like footprinty things, they for some reason remind you of something that not that you've experienced before, but that you've heard of in your time talking with people of the cloth. Not sure why. So as you continue forward, you're walking up, and Ko kind of like quiets you all. And as you walk up, you turn around like this corner of this grouping of trees. And Cameron, why don't you tell us what we see?
Yeah. When you turn around this corner of this grouping of trees, you see a 20-foot high, thorny, viney hedge maze, it appears. Okay. Hold on to your panties, folks, because I'm in charge.
DM Cameron.
Wait, so you're
Enter
gonna
the
play
chat.
Ko?
What a twist!
This is so cool!
Oh my goodness.
One thing that you noticed on the walk over to is that things became much more humid. The microclimates have shifted. Whatever it was prior to you leaving, it feels much more tropical at this time. The tracks that you're following open up into a small clearing where there is a very large, like I said, hedge maze appears to be 20 feet tall. There's a clear entrance in front of you, and that's what you know. The footprints that you have been following do lead into the maze.
So
get ready for some shenanigans, folks.
I'm scared.
What happened? I'm not comfortable with these developments.
Did you guys come up with this idea together?
I suggested the broad premise to Kyle at the Super Bowl party.
Oh my gosh, this has been in the works for so long.
Cooking this. Guest DM shenanigans.
He didn't tell me when he was planning it, but when he brought up Grung for the first time a few sessions ago, I was like, oh shit. Okay, here we go.
Are you the one who oh my god. So it was probably very exciting for you when we were all like, Grung? What are Grung? What the fuck are these Grung?
Yeah. I was like, oh, I don't know either.
But wait, what was this?
I bet they eat turtle eggs. Fucking psycho.
What did I miss?
Oh, we are just asking about how they came up with this idea.
It was back in February. It was Super Bowl.
In the
Maybe
before
the
time.
first Sunday of the before times, back when we could see each other.
I feel like this is it.
Can you just burn it down?
What if he's in there?
Thalen might be there.
I think Thalen may or may not be flammable.
I-
So that might be a concern.
Not your best plan.
Though I like where your head's at, and I will see you.
Do we go? Do we go through the front?
I mean,
I don't see another entrance.
If it's this elevated, we can't see how broad it is, can we? We're not above it in any way to be able to see in the distance how big this maze is.
Yeah, it's almost like, imagine like a plant fortress.
Okay,
right?
so we can't determine its size from here. It's just out of our range of vision, basically. Or
are you talking about like the diameter of this thing?
I'm talking about the actual outside dimensions.
Oh, yeah, the diameter, like, it's big. You would say, like, if you had to guess,
Would we be able to walk around some of the edges to determine if there's other
Sure.
entrances? Okay.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we could walk around the outside maybe, and see if there are other entrances. But I feel like we risk losing the trail if we go in any other way.
Your dragon could probably help us.
Any magic vibes from the maze itself, like the hedges?
Magic.
Are you casting a spell to try and figure that out?
Nah, I'm just
You're just kind of giving it the eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me an Arcana.
That is 15.
15. When you look at this, you kind of search your arcane memory, and you can't think of anything specific. You don't know of anything like this in the area or elsewhere. But as you're watching it, what you do notice is that sometimes, seemingly, some of the vines move or twitch.
Gross.
And I don't know if I mentioned this. They're very thorny. Some of the thorns they have on them are up to 2 inches long and really thick and sturdy looking. Yeah.
I relay the moving thing too.
So I would be wary of.
I mean, how close were you with Thalen? Is it? I mean, fire is sounding pretty good now.
He's a small boy that we
kidding.
to walk out of his own home city. So I feel bad abandoning him in the middle of nowhere.
Especially those weird frog people.
I'm gonna have Tidrin just take a look, guys, and see what he can see from a little bit higher up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna give a little mental message to Tidrin, like, "Hey, don't go over the maze. Just get straight up and just get a better perspective." And I'm gonna have him go up, let's say 40 feet, because that's 20 feet over the top of the hedge maze, right? You said 20 feet tall, and then just peer in the direction from the doorway and see what you can see.
So the very first thing, and I'm going to send you a link here in the private chat.
Okay.
The very first thing that pops into view, other than this extensive maze, is what appears to be a 60-foot tall statue of some sort. It has a broad, shiny grin of white, and it appears to be made of mud or mud bricks or something like that.
60-foot mud
So
brick
this
statue.
is in the middle, or
in the middle, yes.
in the middle.
And then around it is a pond of some sort. You see a number of huts, and you see some grung moving about. Is there any other specific place that you were looking?
Just around the edges, if you can see if there are other openings.
Yeah, so for openings from the perimeter of this thing, so first off, it does appear to be a large circle.
Circle, okay. Oh, it's just not a square, okay.
Yeah, it's a big circle. And it appears that the only opening from the outside is currently where you're standing.
All right, guys. It looks like, well, first of all, it looks amazing. I'm worried for Thalen, but I'm also very excited to go into this thing. It looks like it's a circle, and there's this huge clay tower shaped. Well, I don't know what a grung looks like, but it was what I would imagine that a grung looks like. There's a tower in the shape of a giant grung, and then there's little creatures walking around on the inside. So I think we're heading towards the center, is the plan.
Alistair, if it's good with you, I'm going to call that descriptive enough so that everybody can get a picture of it in their mind's eye, and I will send this to everyone.
Boy, this is always exciting.
Everyone, can we just take a second? I just want to mention that you all are inspiring group, and Thalen, from what I have done and what time I've spent with you in the cave, and from what I've seen and how you interact with each other, I know, although Thalen may be young, he seems to be the one that has the best ability to lead you all. And he's a strong individual where he is worthy of so much, and he deserves to be saved from these creatures. He is strong, fast, and able to lead a group of people, even though he's only 12 years old. And I think you all are better because of him. And I know that from my interactions with you all make me better too. And he goes on this like entire rant for like 10 minutes. And he uses his feat called inspiring leadership. And he gives you all 7 temporary hit points.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I just want you all to know that you all are what drive me every day since I've met you all. And I know that you are all gonna save Thalen, and I hope to prove that I'm worthy of the hat that you've given me. And he puts it on.
I put my hand on his shoulder. We have to go now. And then I start in.
I absolutely look up from the stick or the sword I was whittling down and be like, "What?"
You don't get the 7 points then.
You got the broad strokes. Indra, as you walk into this maze, what you notice is that it is fairly cramped. The vines and hedges appear to be only about 5 feet apart, so this is a single file situation.
Especially for 2 big boys.
Mm-hmm. So this is your invitation to give me a marching order.
Me first.
I'll go second.
I'll bring up the rear.
Okay.
I will cower behind, in between all the people with lots of armor.
All right. So Indra, you walk in, and pretty quickly, it's about 10 feet forward, and then there's a stop and a right. You turn right, and to this point, all of the footprints are following this. There's a little cut back. You go back that way, and then all of the footprints stop, and there's a vine maze. Make me a survival check.
Oh, please. 17.
17. Based on what you saw from the outside, based on what you're seeing right now, and looking at these footprints, it appears that whichever path that the party took that you've been following has been closed off, so that indeed these vines do move. With a 15, you spend the next minute going through and trying to pick across new things. Every now and then, you see footprints that are again blocked off, so it appears that this thing seems to shift. Ko, in the back, as you're kind of watching everybody, you have a little bit more time just to kind of look. What's your passive perception?
That would be just straight 10.
10? Okay. So you've noticed the sort of like moving of the vines. Not that like a whole hedge just closed you off anywhere, but just you can kind of notice that these things do kind of seem to.
Can I tell, is it coming in towards us at all? Like, it's not like closing in on us? Or is it?
There's areas where it's slightly thinner and slightly wider, but this does not appear to be like any point where it would like totally envelop you. You don't have any evidence of that at this point.
Okay.
In the last minute, is anybody doing anything in particular?
We get to that corner. I want to look and see if there's like a defined line of like the footsteps stopping exactly, or like what it looks like, or they just kind of like they like thin out and then disappear, or if you know. I just want to look a little closer because this is obviously a curious situation. Yeah,
go ahead and roll a. I guess that would be an investigation. Yeah.
Vargo, do you see any of those weird footprints?
5's worth, which isn't a lot.
So you can't tell anything about how these things. You notice there are some footprints.
Oh,
you notice that they are similar to many of the different types of footprints that you've been seeing. You confirm for yourself once again that there are different types of footprints. The only one that sticks out to you is one that it looks almost like a line being drug through the mud, and it at various points seems to like narrow and then widen again. There's a point where it kind of picks up, and just it looks really strange and irregular, and you're sort of so fascinated by it that you don't have any conclusions about anything else.
Look at this one right here. See
Does
it?
it disappear into one of the walls, or does it continue down the path?
Yeah, this particular one was going perpendicular to the main footprints that you were following. Both of them are disappearing into the vine wall.
Do you guys see this weird, like...
Do I think it's
line?
like the dragging of someone's back on the ground, or butt, or head? Does it look like a body being dragged on the ground?
Well, you're in the front, but Ko, why don't you roll me an investigation, or if you'd rather, a history?
Okay, I would rather history because I just think that's more Ko's cup of tea, and that would be a 7.
Well, we good tonight.
Looks like some bullshit to you.
Looks like some bullshit to me.
Indra, as you continue to... Oh, are you guys staying and investigating this corner still?
No, I mean, if we haven't found anything,
Yeah. Indra, as you continue to move, give me another survival.
Come on. 18.
18. You're actually feeling pretty confident as you pick through this maze. Even though it seems like it does shift, you feel like you're making a lot of progress. Alistair, you're in the middle. No,
Yes.
so then never mind. Alistair, go ahead and make me a perception.
Tidrin is on my
Actually,
shoulder.
Indra, you roll perception too.
Okay.
And
Tidrin is
then
on my
Alistair.
shoulder. Can I use his perception or?
Yeah, you could use his perception, sure.
Okay.
Natty 20.
Oh, you got a nat 20? Okay.
So it is a 23 total.
18 for me.
18. Okay. So does Tidrin hear at all?
Yes, he actually has advantage on he has keen senses.
Okay, then Indra, you hear, or let me start with Alistair. Alistair, Tidrin hears distinctly something that sounds like human groaning, some sort of pain being expressed.
Would 18 get me the age or timbre, higher pitch, lower pitch?
Very low pitch, almost. I mean, it has to be like someone who's in severe straits. Indra, you rolled a 20. Suddenly it clicks into your head a story that you heard at a temple once about undead and about zombies and ghouls and this sort of ravenous groaning and their distorted bodies that have been injured beyond possible repair, and yet they're still able to persevere and seek out life and consume it. You hear the groaning as well.
Do I get a sense for how far away this?
It's somewhere in the area. Pegging a specific distance in the maze would be difficult.
Okay. I'm going to be ready to turn undead,
Okay.
but I'm not going to do it, I guess, till I...
Are you stipulating a ready to action? At the moment that I see undead, I cast turn undead?
Yeah, is that okay?
That's kind of the point of me sharing this information with you now. Yeah,
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yes, I'm doing that.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to kind of give Ko a little elbow. Hey, heads up, something's going on, something's nearby.
Oh, and I'm going to tell everyone.
Mhm.
I think it's undead. Somewhere close.
I haven't seen any undead like footprints or anything like that when I'm looking around.
Are the walls tight? How far across are we saying, like as far as like the width of the path?
In terms of D&D mechanics, these are 5 feet wide.
Okay, and then just for your knowledge, Tidrin has blind sight up to 10 feet, so if they're like just on the other side of the wall, he would know. But if they're not, then he wouldn't.
Got it. Okay. Good to know. Yeah.
Okay, and I'm just gonna kind of, with the enemies getting close, I'm just gonna tuck Tidrin down into my cloak.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me another survival check if you'd like to continue, Indra.
Yes. It's not as good that time. It's 6.
6. Okay. You spend some more time wandering, and pretty quickly you hit a dead end, a straight up dead end. And you start having to backtrack, and you backtrack a little further. And you look back, and you notice that the vine wall has actually begun to move and close off. You take another left, you walk around a little bit, and sure enough, you hear, or actually, this applies to Tidrin as well, you hear the very loud sound of this groaning. You hear the vines rustling. You smell this decaying flesh at this point. They're very close by. Given your last survival roll and Tidrin's blind sense, you know that if you turn this corner on the left, there will be undead.
Good. I turn to everybody, whisper really quietly. The undead are around this corner.
Can we read at them?
Ko takes out his shield and his... forgot what weapon I have. Oh yeah, Morningstar or mace. I mean.
Yeah, I'll go first. And I turn the corner and turn undead.
Okay. Remind me how turn undead works.
I don't know. Wisdom saving throw. It's a wisdom saving throw.
Are you turning yourself undead or somebody else?
I don't know why it's called turn undead.
So I think they
Turn
turn and run. Like it's a fear roll. If they
Okay.
fail, it's like it works like fear, I think.
I've always wondered that. It's like they're dead. Why do I want to turn something undead? It's terrible.
If I remember correctly, it's like they have to if they fail, they have to spend all of their movement and dash action to get at least 60 feet away from you.
I think it literally imposes the frightened status.
But you also
Okay.
they also have to flee. It's not just like they can't move closer, but they actually have to run.
And it's for 1 minute or until they are damaged. I did
Okay.
write down that. So I guess I will say to my party also, don't hurt them. And hopefully they run away.
And Alistair's just sitting there with like teal smoke coming from his hands, like, really?
My sword's out for show.
Well, they're running from me now, so
Did they?
Are they though?
Did they fail?
I don't know.
I haven't rolled it yet. What's the DC? Well, it's gonna be. Never mind. They all. Unless you got a negative DC.
Nope.
I got a 559 here. So Indra, you turn the corner, and what you see are two zombies. One of them has a leg that has clearly been broken at the femur. You see another one who has like no jaw and is missing a limb, and you see a third one who's actually become caught in these thorns. The other two, interestingly, appear to be trying to pull him out. One of them has successfully pulled off the arm of the one caught, and he's just looking at. They turn and look at you. One of them reaches out, and you say a prayer to your deity, and their eyes kind of widen. You can see the back of one's eye socket, and they go, and they start to turn and run. The one that's already caught is just trying to tear his flesh out as these vines continue to wrap around him. The other two walk directly into a wall, and now they're all stuck. You have 3 zombies stuck in vines.
That went well.
I think we can just go by them.
I'm kind of. That's scary, but okay. These aren't like we don't exactly have a lot of space.
It is tight quarters.
See
You
what
can certainly
happens.
walk past them, but they are very frightened of Indra for sure.
I'll just stand by them as we go past. They won't get you.
But we can't pass each other. That's why we had to have a walking order.
I'll say for this one, like for the purposes, if you do get caught in a combat in this corridor, we'll say that you can use movement speed to just switch places, kind of like your little do-si-do type thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, if you guys want Indra to be posted up in front of them, and like kind of like giving them the shake of her hammer or whatever, the rest of you can slip behind both of them without
We can also
hurting
just
themselves.
smash them.
You can also just
Remind
smash
me
them.
what your holy symbol is again.
I wear a thing.
Okay. So you're like,
Uh,
back!
Circlet on your head.
Yeah, I have a circlet.
She said a thing.
Good podcast material.
No, I'm not gonna headbutt a zombie. I'll just put my shield kind of like in front of them. I'll just create like a little divider so y'all can
Sure.
slip by.
Whichever ones you're standing next to are like actually pushing themselves further into the vines. You can see skin is ripping off of them. The one who was originally caught actually tried to back all the way up, and you saw a thorn stick out from his forehead. Now
God.
he just sitting there like that. The rest of you slip by. Vargo, you're now in the front. Indra, you're now in the back.
Good.
Do you want to switch back?
No, I got this.
Uh,
I ain't scared.
So he's a paladin, and he's a paladin of the Oath of Ancients. And just like with his knowledge or experience with plant life, he just would like to take a look or feel if it's not like something that's going to immediately injure him, just to get a sense of like what if these vines are controlled by someone or something, or if they're just like they just grow and protect because that's their plant-like material.
Go ahead and roll me a nature check.
That is a 21.
Okay. So as you lean in close to it, look at sort of the core of that plant body, where there's all of these twisting branches with leaves sprouting out, and things that don't look quite so deadly as the vines with their thorns. And you feel that something inside of this is natural. It's grown from the ground. It's occurred naturally. but there's something about these vines and thorns that reminds you almost of like a twig blight or a needle blight. Are you familiar with what those are?
No.
They're almost they're basically like plant zombies. They're cursed plant creatures that you can grow from an undead tree that I'm getting the name of right now. Evil druids might be behind this sort of a thing, but certainly there's something natural or absolutely corrupted on the outside.
We should probably be careful. It seems I originally assumed when we came into this that we would be worried about the grung themselves, but it seems like something is bringing back things that don't want to be alive. These plants included, and obviously those zombie-like creatures. So just keep your heads on a swivel here and make sure that you're not only looking out for the toad-like creatures, but also something else.
Will do. I'm scared. This is weird. I don't
Vargo.
like these thorns.
You're now in the front. Go ahead and roll me survival.
All right. 18.
18. Vargo, you start hot-footing it away from all these zombies.
Correct.
You start picking across a few turns. You go left, you go right, and then you get a nice, good 15-foot straightaway. You're feeling really good about the path that you're taking. And you guys keep your ears out for more undead moaning and things like that, but things are fairly quiet. If you would like to continue, or if anyone has anything to specify, in about a minute. And if not, then Vargo roll me another survival.
I would like to boost Tidrin up and just have him flap up to like maybe 1 foot above the top of the maze and just do a spot check and just like look around, like stay right above us, but just look around and see if we've made progress inward or if we're more towards the edge still, or kind of.
Sure. Yeah. It appears that you have gotten. Let's see here. You've circled, let's say, clockwise through this ring that you approach from the south. And you appear to be about a quarter way through it, from what you can tell.
Okay, and I just bring him back down
And when I say it, I mean the entire circle.
Right. Alistair's very concerned about there potentially being some kind of magical barrier over this thing, so he's keeping him very low, just like a peek up and then right back down, and he's backing away.
Yeah.
Well, we're making progress, guys. We're working our way around. I think we're getting closer. Keep it up, Vargo.
All right. We continue. Yeah. That's a 4.
Okay. You move down a path, and similar to kind of how it had gone with Indra, you feel like you've got a sense of this thing, and then all of a sudden you hit a dead end.
Cameron, sorry, I said 4. I meant big 4, just to clarify.
A big 4.
Big 4. Got you. Yeah. You guys can either reverse order or backtrack here. So if you reverse order, Indra will be back in front, Vargo will be in back.
Whatever y'all prefer.
Indra, take the lead. I mean,
do it.
We only got lost with Vargo in the front.
Excuse me. But yeah, let's do that. Also, I don't like being last. I'm very paranoid, but that's okay.
Oh, okay.
Ko would like to like get on his hands and knees and see if they can like skirt their legs like around me to see if he can like stay, and they can just like frog hop over. Leapfrog.
Frog hop.
And Ko's an elf, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you can.
Just lay there and we can just pick our way over it pretty easily, I think.
Yeah, Ko gets down on his hands and knees.
And you as a grung leapfrog, and I'll be in back to protect Vargo.
Sure.
That's right.
Okay, so the new order that I have is Indra, Alistair, Vargo, and Ko.
Correct.
Indra, you kind of backtrack your footprints back to a point where you had a sort of choice, and you take the opposite choice, the next thing where you got lost. You roll me a perception, please.
16.
16. You start noticing that there's this patch in front of you that is covered in leaves for some random reason.
Like
There's
the
not
ground
been
or
any
the
leaves
maze?
on the ground, really. Yeah, so you're watching the ground of the maze, and you've been watching footprints in mud with the occasional plant debris, and then there's this like 10-foot patch where it's just leaves.
I think maybe there's I think maybe that's a trap.
How can you tell?
Well, there's leaves here, but nowhere else.
Well, what do we do?
Can we get around it? Do we need to trigger it? What's your take? Is there space to get around it?
I think.
Is there space to get around it?
Yeah, there's like a, let's say there's like a, well, actually, yeah, you just see leaves. That's what you know right now.
Could we
Nate
jump
does.
it?
It's
How's your guys'
10
jumping capabilities?
feet.
I don't think I can
Mine
jump
is
10
very
feet.
good.
I'm trying to peek around her just huge muscles.
I could probably make that.
I could maybe throw you.
I'll take my chances.
Is there anything on like the far side that we could maybe like lasso, like for leverage or something like that to pull us over or something?
We're jumping.
You could certainly try throwing a rope on the top of the maze or on the wall of the maze. Go ahead and just roll me a flat d20 for lucky obtrusive objects. Yeah, it is like a straight. After that thing, it's like a straight 15-foot path. It's like someone like took a polish to the ground here.
Leaf
It's super
blower
smooth, weird.
swept it.
Yeah.
I mean, of all the times to roll a 1,
The gardeners were
That's an
there
okay
this
time.
morning.
Does anyone have maybe something we could throw into it?
Into the trap?
I see an axe that's rarely used on your person there, Fargo.
We could try it. Kind of like this axe, though.
I mean, I have a rope if you want to like.
Is there like
No,
I
I think
attach
an
it.
axe. I think
is
an
there
axe
a
is good.
torch or something we could just throw in?
I'm
The
just.
other thing I'll note,
Take
just
it.
from a rules perspective, is that you are allowed to jump if you give yourself 10 feet of running distance, your strength score. So if you have a strength score of above 10, you can jump over this thing.
I consider jumping it. Should I jump it? I could jump
You're
it.
third. You're third, dude. You can't consider jumping anything at the
I
moment.
jump.
Okay, yeah, you back everyone up a second, you take 2 really good things, then a couple of hot steps, and you, boom, jump right over it on the other side, right over the Indra's over.
Can you guys do
Well,
that?
let's do it. And then
Can you do that?
Alistair's good.
I want to try and take the axe from Vargo and throw it in there.
You're
Why?
gonna throw it in the pit?
Throw it in. Throw it
Why?
in.
We figured it out. We could just jump it.
Yep. I'm so curious. Okay, fine. Let's go.
I throw it in.
When you throw the axe in, the leaves all slide down and fall into this pit. You look down. It is a 10-foot pit with spikes at the bottom. A
Ooh,
number of wooden spikes.
wooden spikes. Ooh, can I turn them into swords?
You figure if you climb down there, yeah, there's 5 wooden spikes that you could certainly whittle down a little bit more. Yeah.
Can you lower me down with your
No.
rope, Co? I said he had a rope.
Can. Yeah. Well,
We
I
have-
mean,
Thalen.
Yeah, you right. All right, let's go. I jump.
I jumped it.
Okay. You all make it across.
We dumb, but we strong.
It's very true.
Is there anything that you all want to do in the next minute?
Longingly look back at the wooden spikes that could have been my practice sword arsenal.
That also now have your axe next to it.
Fuck. Damn it.
why didn't you tie the rope like he suggested?
We didn't have time. Vargo, man, come on, let's go. I mean,
Nope.
Yeah.
That's you.
Yeah.
You said your own name.
Oh, you know what I'll add? There at the bottom of the pit, there was one zombie. Just
That's good
impaled on the
information
spikes,
to
and he
have.
couldn't move. He's just like, ah, ah.
How
And
many
the rest of his
zombies
body's
do you
there.
think are here? I'm a little bit worried. We keep seeing more. If we have a huge pack of them, I feel like we might not be able to take them.
I'm more concerned about whoever walked along, found a zombie fallen in the pit, and then covered it back up with leaves without doing anything about it.
Oh, yeah, that probably wasn't. That probably wasn't the undead. Probably wasn't.
Probably not.
We're about to do basically the same thing. Let's go.
I mean, another
I'm not
survival.
putting the leaves back. I put the leaves back.
6. I rolled a 6 again.
Okay. You walk, and again, another dead end. At the end of this dead end, though, what you find is it's like a fist-sized beetle. Big fleshy thing, too.
Ew.
Its carapace sticks out, but it doesn't quite cover everything. It looks really
Ew.
corpulent. Yeah. If there's such a thing as an obese beetle, that's
Oh God!
Stop. No, I don't want to see
Obese. Dull.
Just
Obese.
I'm gonna
Obese
try and
one? Yeah.
block the path completely, so no one looks at the ground to see the beetle. And I'm gonna say, "Oh, the dead end. We need to turn around."
Indra's just making herself. Yeah.
I mean, she is huge. She's by far the largest human being that we're aware of.
All right. I guess we'll turn back and I'll take the lead.
Reverse.
Reverse order. Co, you're in the front. Give me a survival check.
Go give me a speed bump check.
13.
13. You pick your way through. There's a point where you feel like you're not particularly confident where you're going, but indeed it does appear to open up into a good straightaway where you feel like you're making progress. After about a minute of you walking towards the end of the straightaway, you hear, you can't really ascertain from where. All of you hear like a... It almost sounds like a big, loud croak.
Do you guys think that's zombies again?
This one, if I could make better sounds, does not sound like...
Well, I got what you're trying to say. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to, like, D&D it a little bit.
Gotcha.
No.
No. What, you think that was like a... What was that? It was gross.
Is there a possibility that there are undead grung around here? Does anyone know anything about the grung?
I think my character just
only
learned about
know
Grung.
I know
what you
literally
told
nothing.
me.
I don't even know that.
I forgot what you said.
I know that they take people captive and keep them as slaves. And even once we get Thalen, I want to kill every single one of them.
I'm concerned that we need to hurry. We've been gone a week. We've been doing stuff for a week. Who knows how long he's been here?
When did you see
Well,
him
I
taken?
did see him. I saw him today. Did I see him today or yesterday? Whenever I
I think that's your story.
Well,
Oh,
I mean,
Co?
like, yeah, just did Co see him today, and he just ran back and then like came in, or was it like yesterday, and then it took him a long time to get back, and then
Based on what happened during our session, it's been at least 2 days since
Co saw him.
Yeah.
Wait,
since
who
Co saw him.
DM'd your session? Did you DM one session?
I DM'd his session. We were
Yeah.
both under the impression we knew what was going to go.
Yeah.
It's been a couple days. We should probably hurry. You're right.
Then let's go.
Just really quickly as I go forward, I just want to quickly kind of cast a divine sense. If there's any undead, celestial, or fiend 60 feet from me, I know their location and what kind of whatever they are.
Cool.
Great. So then instead of describing every ping that you get, I'm just going to give you advantage on spotting them every time that I roll that there might be some. I'll just let you roll perception twice.
Can I get a general idea of how many there might be?
Yeah.
It's
Within the
just
60 feet?
Hold on. It's within 60 feet. So 60.
So you're getting pings in front of you and behind you, and let's say that you get 4 pings, 2 in front, 2 in back.
There are all around us, guys. Just keep your eyes open. The undead.
Do you know how to fight them? Is there anything specific?
I know from my training as a paladin that radiant damage does good things against them, but that's all I got.
Should
Are
I
you
cut their
certain?
head
And
off?
that's only some undead. I don't know if it's all of them.
Okay. I'm gonna put if it goes in the front, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Goes in the front. So I'm gonna put my hands on his shoulders and be like, "All right, keep a keen eye out. Let us know what you see." And I'm gonna cast guidance on him.
Great, yeah. Go make me that survival check when you're ready with the D4, right?
So for everybody else, you guys just see that like my eyes glow teal for a second, and then just for a brief second, his glow teal, and then they go away.
Ooh, that's a 20. Wait, hold on. Survival 22.
22. You're feeling very confident that you have a handle of this maze. You pick your way around multiple corners. You see another one of those beetles. It's not even like a weird thing to you at this point, and you just pop right on through. You've made some good progress. Is anything doing anything in the last minute?
I feel like we're getting close.
No, I'm just staying tight and following.
Then Ko, make me one more check, one more survival check.
You can
Do
do,
I get-
it.
Do I get that D4 again, or is it just a one-time?
I can keep casting it, so it's a cantrip, so I'll cast it again.
Yeah, guys, again, yeah, sure. You could just do it every time, every minute or so. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
That is a 16.
Did you add your D4?
I did.
Great. Yeah, so you... Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Oh gosh, I hate it when that laugh happens. Perception. That will be a 12.
12, okay.
Wait, do I get
So-
advantage for if I'm like trying to find them, or you'd said that because of divine?
It's not for zombies,
Okay.
no. So you roll, or assume you don't roll anything. You're walking through a maze.
I do a barrel, like a little.
Yeah, with the guidance from Alistair and your just confidence that you've just gotten this maze down and your alertness for the zombies, you feel like you're moving your way through this maze really, really well. Everybody behind him, it just feels like he's on a mission. step, step, step. There's no pause in it. He's turning corners quickly. He does a switchback at one point, and soon enough, Ko, you see a break where it opens up, and you see more than a few green grung standing at the entrance
Do they see
of
me?
this thing. Yeah, they do. One of them sees you, and he points, and he goes, and he picks up his spear, and you see more come in. You see about 10 standing in front.
Is this the center? Is this the moat that we saw, or is this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
so for you, yeah, it's that sort of, it's land, and then you can see the pond, like the pond would be beyond it. Yeah.
Okay.
Is it like right behind them, the water?
So from what you can tell right now, Kyle, you're pretty tall, right?
Yeah.
These things are only like 4 feet max tall.
Okay.
They're pretty
Oh, they
small.
little.
All of these green-skinned little frog humanoids, they're bipedal. They have limbs. Some of them have black markings kind of around. It almost seems like that's how you can tell each other apart. You have these big, bulbous black eyes with a thin film like a crocodile over it that they'll blink and they lick their eyes and things. A number of them pick up spears. A couple of them pick up short bows. They
wave me towards them.
Mm-hmm.
I go towards them.
Okay.
Like
Follow.
I have shield and mace ready.
Does the maze open up here? Like, would we be able to walk abreast at this point?
Yeah. You guys walk out of this maze into this interior area. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna just kind of walk a half step, let everyone else kind of slowly pull ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be hurrying, but not like in the front.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to do as you walk in the initial 10 green grung?
I have my sword out for sure.
I want to move. I was in the back before. I don't want to be the back anymore.
Okay. I mean, yeah, you guys don't even have to be in single file, so you guys can all sort of stand in like a square formation if you want. Yeah.
Okay.
Tidrin's gonna climb out of my jacket. He was in protection, but hang on the back and just ready to take off if he has to.
Okay. They all look at you, and one is standing in the front, and he's got a spear up at Yuko, and he goes,
I try to cast a speak with animals. I don't know if that'll work, but it's a frog-like creature, so I'm going to try it anyways.
It's a beast that it works for.
You gain the ability to comprehend and verbally communicate with beasts for the duration. Yes.
You whisper that, and it takes a step back and goes,
Can you understand common?
yeah.
And I follow, I guess, if they're telling us to go somewhere.
He just stands and looks at you, goes, and he kind of points at your weapons, and he puts his spear down.
I look over at Indra, who had just previously said that she wants to murder all of these.
I do not put my hammer down.
I definitely don't put my sword down.
I don't have it raised. I'll have it like.
I'm like motioning to
hand.
the other weapons, like.
I'll
gotta
just
put their
put
shit
the
down.
mace away, and I'll just have my shield out still.
Alistair pulls out a dagger very visibly and just sticks it in the dirt.
Mm-hmm. One of them comes by and grabs it. He goes, and kind of tucks it in his loincloth.
Ew.
And the front one picks his spear back up and kind of just holds it as a walking stick. Yeah.
I was going to see if I could go and pick up his spear.
No. One thing that you're noticing, though, as you're looking at them closely, they've almost got like a thin sheen of ooze or something on them.
Slime.
And it seems to be really thick next to those black spots they have. Some of them have them around their eyes, on their forehead, down their back and arms. They're almost like just kind of like individual markings. The front one that was addressing you picks his spear up, kind of starts using it as a walking stick, and kind of waves you over.
I will take slow, careful steps, kind of trying to keep watch on what all the other grung are doing and seeing if they're trying to...
The rest of these grung that are around you are at alert, and they are looking right at you. They seem very well trained and coordinated. As you all walk forward, they all sort of close in behind you. Nothing super aggressive, but they're certainly ready for whatever. As you walk through this area, you see that you pretty quickly end up at a pond. There's this massive pond. The interior of this thing is probably somewhere around 300 feet, you would say, in diameter. At the center of it is this raised platform of earth upon which has been built this massive 60-foot frog structure. You all got the picture I sent you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This thing has some stairs that lead up to it. As well as a small path of stones that lead as a walking path to it. There's an opening in this thing, and that appears to be walking. You can also see in the center island, there appears to be a number of orange growth watching as sentries, and around the perimeter there are multiple huts. Anything that you guys are looking for at the moment?
Are we so the pond or the water? We're walking through it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not that deep.
Mm-hmm. No, it appears to be like you would say no more than 5 feet. Like certainly not like a lake. Occasionally you'll see a grung in there swimming around,
So
splashing and bathing.
are we walking on the stone path above the water?
Unless you want to stipulate anything else, they're going to take you across this path.
Okay. I mean, I'll follow.
Okay. They start taking you across the stone path closer and closer to this large building. When the front green grung gets to the stairs, he walks up and he speaks with one of the orange grung. You can see him chat back and forth. He's gesturing back to you. They're gesturing back to you. And they nod, and he kind of walks down the stairs.
While we're walking across, can I see any non-grung in this whole open area? Or is it only grung exclusively, besides us?
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a quick perception.
12.
12. So 12, you hear in the back, you hear like a lot of chittering. And you hear one go just like, oh, you just kind of hear human sounds in the back.
Okay. This is behind the structure or in the structure?
Yeah, somewhere behind the structure where you can't see.
Okay.
And then with the 12, you said?
12.
Yeah, it doesn't appear that any of these huts are like big. They all appear to be fairly low. Some of them are a little bit wider, some of them are a little bit narrow. But yeah.
Okay.
As you all climb the stairs into this thing, seems to be a doorway in its belly. The orange grung looks at all of you. Ko, you're still in the front. He goes,
I look back at the rest of my crew.
Just go with it. We got to get inside.
I give him a thumbs up.
He looks at it and goes, and he sort of starts walking inside.
I follow.
Yeah. All of you walk inside. When you're in the interior of this thing, you can see that it's actually a large hollow room. Inside is another pool. This whole thing is lit by phosphorescent fungi, sort of soft blue glow coming from all of them. Some of them are on the walls, but most of them are in this large pond that extends across. You see a few blue-skinned grung sort of tending to the fungi, brushing off any sort of debris on the tops to shine brighter. You see a elevated basin about 10 feet high, and inside of this basin, sitting on the feet in the water, is a fatter, bigger grung, whereas the rest of these 4 feet tall. This thing could actually be sort of size, and he's sort of just splashing in the water, and you notice he has a thin gold circlet, bright gem.
Is he green? Is he green also?
He is golden grung.
The golden grung.
And he goes, and the red grung looks up, and she waves her hand. All the blue grung go skittering up the walls. Any green grung that were inside, they all kind of press against the walls. The orange grung walks up. He kind of holds his hand back to you. He walks up and he goes, and the yellow grung in the basin stands up at the tip of it. So he's sort of above you, and then he puts his hands on his hips. He goes,
and I put my hand on my chest, just like him.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking for our friend, and I'm gonna try to just like put my hand off the ground about his height. He's got lots of knives and a bow.
The gold grung waves his hand at you, and he points to the red one. And he goes, this red grung kind of walks over to you, and she looks at all of you, and she goes, who?
A boy named Thalen.
Thalen Francois, boy detective extraordinaire.
She points at you. She goes, Thalen.
I point to Vargo, like him, but shorter.
And she goes, and she grabs Vargo your hand.
Is it slimy? Is it slimy?
Are you wearing a glove? I'm assuming you're wearing gloves.
No. Yes,
No?
I am. No, I am.
Yes.
Yeah, coronavirus.
Okay, put it this way. She grabs you by whatever she can reach that's clothed. She notably does not touch you on your skin.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And she goes, and she's gesturing towards the gold grunt.
Okay.
And she sort of like walks you down. She kind of holds your hand through this pond,
introduce yourself as he walks by.
Okay.
And she gets you to the sort of like landing where this thing climbs up to be in direct audience with this guy, this gold thing. And she looks at you and she goes, hand syrup.
Hand syrup?
Hand syrup. And she points at your glove to take it off.
I take it off.
Okay. She says, hey, all right, hand.
I hold my hand up.
The gold grung steps down, and you can see that he's much bigger. He almost looks you right in the eye, and he's got this big mouth. And he grabs your arm, and he opens his mouth, and he bites down on your hand. I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw.
What? It's good, though. 22.
22. Okay. So take 1 piercing damage as he chomps onto your hand, and you're only going to take 3 poison damage. All of a sudden, well, first off, you feel your hand go numb, and you feel it start to extend up your arm. And then all of a sudden, you just kind of feel loose and light. Actually, I should have had more advantage on this one.
22.
And for a moment, you look at the grung, and you're like, these grung, they're all right. I think I'm kind of starting to get it. And then you kind of shake it off, you realize where you are.
That sounded exactly like Thalen.
And the golden grung is looking at you, and he says, I am King Grok. What is your name? And why are you here? The rest of you hear,
What was the name?
Grok. Yeah, like croak with a G. Yeah.
I'm Vargo. Our friend got taken here, we think.
Mm-hmm.
Do we hear him speaking as a frog?
Yeah, Vargo breaks out in this perfect grung.
Why didn't he say he spoke grung? That would have been super helpful.
I know. I when I tried to cast my spell, it didn't work. I don't know how. I thought Vargo didn't cast.
You said you're Vargo, and you're looking for your friend who was taken here.
Mm-hmm.
He looks at you, and he kind of gets back into his big basin of water so he can look further down on you. And he goes, you're looking for your friend?
Yes.
Is he big? Is he small?
He's small to me, but you guys are... He's smaller than you.
He's a boy. Like, young boy?
Like 10? 10 human years.
And what?
10
apples tall?
10 of our planet's circles around whatever the star we orbit.
Speaking riddles.
Sorry.
He looks down
I
and he
didn't
says,
realize age was a foreign concept.
You're foreign. You're in some grown love.
Yes, I am.
And your concept of age is foreign. We
I
have
apologize.
a friend, probably. You can meet him. But your arrival here is fortuitous. Why are you here?
Just for our friend who I was talking about.
He splashes water at you. He says, why are you here?
To bring him back.
No, not until Nong Nong arrives.
Not until who arrives?
When he says that, Nong Nong.
Nong Nong.
And when he says that, you hear just chittering throughout the temple.
About how many grung are at this temple here? If I had to guess.
Go ahead, you can make me a perception at disadvantage because you're right in front of him. Everybody else, if you want to try and count the grung in here, go ahead and roll a perception.
I mostly just want to see if it's a number that we could take.
I had an 18.
Same.
15.
You would say that in this temple currently there is at least 20 grung. And that does not count the ones outside.
Easy work. Bring on Nung Nung.
And he looks down at you and he says, you don't know, but you were sent because tonight Nong Nong returns. And you outsiders will make it happen.
What is Nong Nong?
Nong Nong! And the rest of the temple goes...
Yeah. I got all that.
He says, Nong Nong is the most beautiful, the most powerful, and the most terrible of the grung. She is our goddess. And she is my wife!
When was the last time you saw Nong Nong?
You see him get furious.
Oh,
and he jumps down in front of you. He says, are you mocking me?
No.
You are the sacrifice for Nong Nong.
Okay.
You and your friend, the small one. And the red grung comes by, and my sword is
out.
You pull your sword out?
I think it's been out.
Do you do any hand motion with it?
No, I thought he was gonna reach out to me. He reached out to somebody else.
No. The red grung.
Oh yeah, reached out
Pulls
to
on
him.
the gold grung,
Okay, no, then I don't do
or
anything.
on King Grok, I should say.
Okay, no, I don't do anything.
And she looks at him and says, King Grok, these outsiders, they are ignorant. They don't know anything. I will take them. I will prepare them for Nang Nang. They don't need to be sacrificed. They are clearly powerful. Look, they made it through the maze. The gold grung looks down at you. He goes, you are lucky. Lucky that Grok is here.
Why is Thalen being sacrificed?
He looks and he says, there must be a sacrifice.
But why him?
Why? He hurt. We caught him. He is a young boy. Very subtle. Very tasty. Perhaps you can join in our feast.
Are grung tasty?
Roll me a persuasion real quick.
Intimidation.
How long before we have to start squashing frogs?
I'm trying to speed it up here.
What'd
13?
you roll? 13. He looks back at the red grung. He says, is this his ignorance? Is he threatening us? And Krook looks up at you, and she says, wait, just don't. King Grok is a man of great power and deserves respect. Please show it to him, or else he will punish you severely. And King Grok goes, yes, I am King Grok, and you will speak to me with respect. And as he's doing this, you actually notice that the red grung has like a bowl out, and she's like squeegeeing off this weird stuff that's coming out of his pores
I don't.
into this bowl.
Just let me know when you're about to start talking about the pus, and I'm going to take my headphones off.
Yeah. It's not pus, it's more like a
Stop.
filmy,
You're right, thanks.
mucusy thing. He says, tonight, Grong will be back. Or Nang Nang will be back. I forgot the name of my wife, God. And you will be there to witness her glory. And if you were sent here, it will happen. That is my ruling. If she does not come back, you're all the feast. And he jumps back into his pond, emerges himself, and the red grung pulls on you. We should go now.
All right, I go.
I'll take you to your friend.
Okay. Oh, to my friend?
Yes.
Can you take all of us?
Yes.
Okay, let's go.
And she starts walking back where you guys all are. All of you have just seen this exchange in full grung.
What is going on?
You see the red grung comes by, and she sort of like continues to like keep a kind of hand close to Vargo, and she's got this bowl out, and she lifts the bowl up just, and then she dips her finger in it, and she just.
What is she saying?
You hear her go, you all take a taste of the great excretions of our king Grok, or else I cannot communicate.
What is she saying there? Part grung.
I guess your options if you want to communicate with the grung or have the gold guy bite you, which isn't pleasant, or you can eat in his words, eat the excretions of the great one.
I dip my finger in and
I would have get bit.
Handful.
Go take the
Yeah.
bite. I'm telling you.
Coe and Alistair, go ahead and make me a constitution.
I can also translate for you guys.
fucking shit. Fuck.
Crushing it today. Crushing it.
Is it I think paladins are immune to
If you're immune to poison, you take no damage. If you fail your saving throw, you're in 7 poison.
you are immune to disease.
Okay, this is not a disease, yeah.
I rolled a natural one.
Okay, well, that's 7 poison damage for you.
I rolled a 7, so.
Same. But as you do it, you hear, it's very tasty, yes?
How much poison? You said 7 poison?
7.
7.
It's terrible. There goes all your
Yes.
temporary hit points.
It's an acquired taste. Come, let us go to my hut.
Do I get the feeling that she's on our side?
Roll an insight.
That is a 12.
You're not, like, totally familiar with grung nonverbal communication, but it appears to you like she is in quite a hurry to get out of here. She definitely seems tense, and not for just like there's new people here music.
Got it.
She starts walking out of the shrine.
Indra, you don't understand Grung still?
No,
I think he'll be all right.
I don't think I need to understand.
Crook. And the rest of you here says, I know she can't understand this, but, and she looks up at Indra, I'm Krook.
Her name is Krook.
She looks up, she's, what's her name?
She's also Krook. Indra.
Indra. You're Indra.
Can you take us to our friend?
Hello. Then she walks away from you. And yeah, so you guys walk, she walks you back to kind of where you came in and start taking a path on the outside. It's sort of a thin layer of like grass and earth around this big pond. You walk by a number of huts, and as you walk, a few Grung kind of come out to look at you. Yes.
Cameron, you can't make us like any of these Grung because Indra's gonna murder the shit out of all of them. So.
And she walks you almost all the way around the perimeter, and you get to a spot where there's a hut, and she looks back at all of you and says, This is my hut. And it's kind of big. You can see it's like, it looks like a nicer hut for what it's worth. It's just sort of a mud and stick hut. And then she walks you past maybe like 30 feet further. And there's two orange Grung standing in front. And she looks at him and says, Please, leave. Leave for one moment. Let us have an audience here with the prisoner. And they look up at her, and they bow, and they walk away. You walk up to what appears to be a 10-foot pit, 10 by 10 and 10 deep, with big, heavy wooden beams latticed together over the top. There's a large rock on top of it. And she points and she says, Look for your friend.
How many people are in there?
You peek your head in, and there are two people. One of them is just standing there, or he's just like sitting there kind of curled up with his arms around his legs. And then you see Thalen. And Thalen is standing there, and he's got one of his actions. It's like kicking the legs up back and forth. And so he goes, Oh my God! Hey guys! Are you guys coming in here too?
I hope not.
Hey, these your friends you've been talking about?
Yeah, it is my friends.
The guy that was also in.
What's his name? What's your name, guy?
Hey, I'm Pick. It's
Pick.
wonderful to have some saviors.
What are you? How'd you get here, Pick?
I'm with the little one.
Yeah. They ambushed us in the night, and then they drug us away.
Short answer, we're here to get you out.
Are you okay?
Me? Oh, well, I'm not comfortable. I'm really smelly. I'm pretty hungry, and I think they're poisoning our food because I'm really tired. But other than that, I'm okay. What are they talking about? What are they
I
doing?
reach into my bag and pull out 2 days' rations and just pass them out to them.
He takes it gratefully.
Do you have your weapons with you?
Oh no, they took most of that, and I basically them to give me this action to mix it.
Do they look sick? Do they look like they've been poisoned?
Go ahead and roll me a medicine check.
I'm gonna whisper to Alistair. Distract, Crook.
24.
24. So yeah, their skin is sallow. They look a little just kind of dehydrated. Eyes are a little bit sunken, and they're definitely moving a little bit slowly. So not like dying, but certainly like they've had half a Benny. You know?
Are we in this space, or is this like we had to peek in to see them and then have to peek back out? Are we in this space, or is this just like a look in?
You're like literally looking down at them. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna walk just kind of casually behind
Crook.
Krook.
She looks at you. Crook.
I'm gonna walk behind Krook, be like the opposite end of the hole from her, and just say, "So, what's your role here? Like, what is your job?" And trying to get her to turn to face me and away from the hole.
When I get a chance, I'm gonna try to drop a hand axe to Thalen when Krook turns around to talk to Alistair.
I want to cast Lesser Restoration, Thalen.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Go for it. Is that a ranged thing or?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't look. Hopefully.
If it's touch, there'll be a whole thing, and if not, then we'll figure it out.
It's touch. It's touch.
Okay. I mean, like you could like lay down, and put your hand down, and see if you can jump up and get it. You can try that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll lay down and reach.
Krook looks up at you, Alistair, and she goes, I'm the priestess, and it's supposed to be my job to bring back Nung Nung. But I fear that Nang Nang won't come back. King Grok has gone mad. Go ahead and roll me a stealth check real quick, Indra. And Vargo, roll me a sleight of hand.
Oh, I am disadvantaged stealth.
Yeah.
Well, that's not bad. 13.
Okay.
At 14.
14? Okay. Actually, I don't know what their passive possession is. And then what were you asking there?
I would just that I'm legitimately interested in their answers, so
Yeah.
I do want to continue on that thread if possible.
Sure.
If we don't get interrupted.
Was that a 12 that I heard? A 12 and a 13?
A 13 and a
13
14.
and a 14.
13 and 14. Okay.
And a 12.
So whoever rolled the lower number, who was that? Indra?
Me.
Okay. She looks over at you. She turns. She goes, "Are you handy? You can give him something, but stand up, please. It looks suspicious, and I can't protect you all the time." And she looks up at Alistair and she goes, "King Grok thinks that Nang Nang will come back and be his wife. He's tasked me with bringing her back, but I don't know such a ritual, and I think he might be impressed enough with you all." Indra.
I didn't understand what she said to me, so I'm still doing what
Yeah.
I was doing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She looks back at Indra. She's just laying in the mud. Yeah, you go ahead and cast Lesser Restoration. You notice that some of the color comes back to his cheeks, and Thalen says, "Hey, thanks, Deputy Mom. I feel really good now."
I could do him too.
Yeah, and he walks over, does the same thing.
Got him.
Hey, thanks.
You drop the hand axe down there, Vargo?
Thanks. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he grabs it.
Yeah, he
and has
does.
that axe on him there.
Nice.
And Karuk is talking to you, Alistair.
Okay.
Your friend is going to be sacrificed for the Nang Nang ritual unless we can bring her back otherwise. I will convince King Grok that we don't need it. But, well, I have the basis of a plan if you'll follow the data I had.
Why are you helping us? What's going to happen if this isn't successful? To you.
Well, this is the third attempt at bringing back Nang Nang. And I fear that King Grok will lose his patience with me. I want him to be appeased, and I want him to stop this idea that he can save us from these undead by bringing back Nang Nang. I fear that if he does not get Nang Nang, he will become desperate.
What happened to her?
Nang Nang is a god. Nang Nang has not been on this earth for many, 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 many years.
I see.
She is our goddess. She created us.
Well, show us your plan. But if it doesn't work, we can try to get you out of here.
Indra, you see them all start to walk away.
Indra, maybe I'm speaking in common now. Maybe I know that Thalen has some ability to maybe like dress you up. Maybe we can make you like the Nong Nong so you can get close to that king, and then we can start this.
I need to find out if they really do take people as slaves.
Okay.
I need to find out because I won't just stop with him if they do.
Well, I assume starting with him would be a good way to start at least.
Yeah, it would. But I don't have to start there either.
Indra is going to give us a place to go, and we can workshop this plan from here. But springing their trap on us by showing our hand too soon is risky. Let's just
Ask
let it
her.
play. Let's just let it play a little longer.
Ask her.
Yeah.
Well,
Do you take slaves?
Do we take slaves? Of course we
I
take slaves.
look over to
Oh
Indra.
god! I roll my eyes and I just start taking all my weapons out. I'm just like, here we fucking
Well,
go.
Well,
she didn't hear
then.
that. She didn't hear that, right?
He nodded
Well,
to me.
I nodded to her.
Oh,
And I'm already taking my weapons out, so she
Well,
can probably
let's.
figure out.
We can come up with a plan. I just want you to know I'm not stopping with just him.
And as she's walking, she's sort of explaining it, and she goes, "Yeah, we set out a party. If they grab somebody, we feed them and we make them work, and if they're tasty, we eat them. And sometimes we try to sacrifice them to our god. Yes, we take slaves." She keeps walking.
why?
She was-
Why?
You're
would-
not slaves, by the way. You're guests. Clearly.
What determines whether they're slaves? People are slaves or guests?
And she kind of looks up at you and she goes, "Well, guests are invited or they arrive. And slaves we take, capture.
Have
You
guests
all
ever
made it through the maze. You're visitors.
Do visitors ever turn into slaves?
Yes, often. When Grok is upset.
Yeah.
Very powerful. Very powerful.
Why don't you tell me your plan to make Nang Nang come back, or at least get us
Yes,
out
yes,
of here?
yes. and she walks you, and she kind of pulls you under her hut, and you can see that there's like incense burning, and there's all these little things kind of strewn about, things hanging from the ceiling. And she points you to sit down, and there's just like a space in the corner of her hut where it's sort of packed earth. Please sit, please sit. I have something to show you.
Alistair sits.
She's kind of bumping around in the corner, and she pulls out a chest. It's about this big, about 3 feet long, about 6 inches wide, and she puts it down in front of you, Alistair, and she opens it up. And inside you find 4 pots, and on the top of the case, kind of insert into it, is 3 paintbrushes. And she goes, I found these from another slave a few weeks ago. And she picks up a brush, and she pops the lid on one of the paints, and she takes it, and she kind of like paints some stuff, or she gets some ink on it, and she goes to the middle of her, and she draws a big square, and she draws a little circle on it, and then she puts the thing back, closes the thing up, blows on it, and she pulls it up, and now there's a little door on the ground. It says, you can paint, and it becomes real. I want you to paint Nang Nang, and perhaps we can make him believe that Nang Nang is here, and perhaps we can make him believe that Nang Nang chose to leave.
How will we know what she looks like? Can't you paint her? How will we know what she looks like?
I can't be certain, but the myths say that she has the longest limbs of any ground, and the widest hips that you've ever seen, with the most toothy smile that you could imagine.
Does anyone know exactly what she looks like, or just these rumors?
We do not know. She points at the shrine, and she goes, this is a representation of Nang Nang, a gift to her for when she comes.
Okay.
What happened to Nong Nong?
Nang Nang left the mortal realm. Nang Nang created the Grung, and Nang Nang left. We do not know why.
Have you seen her ever?
No, of course not.
Has anyone seen her ever?
Some say, but I do not believe them. She's still powerful, yes. We still exist, and we know that it is because of her. But she has not been on this plane for many, many, many times.
Has Grok seen her?
Grog says that he sees her in his dreams, but I fear that he is becoming mad because of these undead.
So we can make it. What? Oh, I forgot about the undead. What's up with the undead? How long have there been zombies running around?
Maybe 30 nights, something like this.
Can I count this as a short rest?
Let me give you a piece of information first.
Okay.
Yeah, but yes, potentially, yeah.
Did anything else happen 30 nights ago that coincided with random zombies popping up?
The maze was agitated and became much more mobile. Our patrols lost their ways a couple of times, but we do not know why these creatures are here. We do not know how to fight them. They do not respond to our poison.
Does King Grok, does he have magical powers?
King Grok is very powerful. King Grok can use his circlet. Very powerful. I have magic, true magic. And she casts minor illusion, and she creates a little frog hut.
Cool.
She kind of dismisses it. She goes, this is why I'm the priestess.
Can I look at the pots, the paints,
Mhm.
and just so as a tinkerer, I have an ability that I can determine the age and the origins of objects,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm wondering if I can determine any details about this, about maybe where it came from, or what anything about it more than just what it can do.
Yeah, go ahead and roll. I'll let you do like
It's
either.
it's under history on this, so if it's not a history check, then
Okay, do a
apply.
history. Yeah, do a history. Yeah.
That's a natural 20 plus 1.
20? Okay, you know precisely what this is, and I'm going to send it just to you, Alistair. Yeah, you know exactly what this is. You've heard of this, and it is called Nolzur's Marvelous Pig.
All right. I kind of know what that is, so I'm just gonna skim it when I have a chance. But I just wanted to take a look at that.
I'd like to pick up one of the paints to take it with me.
So you pick it up and put it in your pocket?
Yeah.
She looks up at you and she says, "Oh, you can have it. but please keep them together. I don't know what would happen if it spilled.
I take them all, I guess.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, and this is in common, and I'm hoping that the other grunt can hear me.
I think we all know what's going to happen, but we need to let it play for the right moment.
I think we gotta get Thalen out first, right? Because I don't think he doesn't seem, him and that other guy don't seem like they're in any mode of able to fight. We need them safe, right? Before we start anything.
How far are we from where they were being kept?
Like 30 feet.
Okay. How many
Yeah.
grung are between us and that?
Currently,
Yeah.
when you walked in the hut, you have Krook with you, and there were 2 orange grung standing watch directly next to that pit.
Do we know anything about the colors, if they denote anything, or if they're...
You can ask her.
I could. I could. Let's see. I think we go over there, and then we just tell Krook that we're going to get him out, and she can either help or get out of the way, and then we just get the hell out of here.
I agree. We're going to have to...
I'm not ready to leave.
We're going to have to scorch earth this place.
Well, let's just get Thalen and start going then, I think.
Do
Doesn't
you
matter where
wanna-
we start, does it?
Let's get
Do
to
you
his
want to
side.
make me the fucking goddess?
Well, I just know that I'm not very good at playing dress up.
Well, we've seen Thalen do.
Well, maybe we ask him, or I don't know.
Well, we need to get him out, and once he's out, this whole...
Tell her that we need him to make the plan work.
But once we do that, then the whole plan doesn't work because their sacrifices
She said, oh, I don't know what she said.
go.
Well,
Maybe we
try.
can fake another way, and then we just use you to pretend to be Nong Nong.
I mean, I'll take the head of the snake.
She kind of looks back and forth between all of you and just, what are you talking?
We're just seeing, we're just seeing if we can make your plan work. Our best artist is one of your sacrifices.
And she looks and she goes, and thinks about it for a second. And she says, I don't know if I can. The only way I could get him out for sure is if you please Grok. And he expects you to create Nangna. I do not command the gods.
Is there another way out other than that one maze that we came through? Is there a back door?
Is there a ceiling to this maze?
And she looks up, she says, no, just the sky. No ceiling. But we always traverse the maze if we leave.
I think we just get him out and start swinging.
She kind of thinks about it more. She says, we have a number of secret entrances and exits that can get you close to the main exit. We will use this when we escort you out.
Is there any that you know about that no one else does?
She thinks about it and she says, I doubt it. No, I don't think so.
Private space where we can work on this painting? It will take some
Yes,
time.
yes. I will give you my hut. I will leave. And I will tell nobody to disturb you because you are preparing the rites for Nang Nang's return. It is tonight. How long do you need?
4
Couple
hours.
hours?
Couple hours. Yes, we can do that. Yes. And she looks up at this guy. She goes, you have maybe 7 or 8 hours.
We'll take them. If we get done before that, we'll come and get you. Or we'll just step outside to wave you down. Will that work?
Yes, yes. I'll stay in the hut. And she stands and she points to this hut that's like 50 feet down. She goes, I'll stay there.
Okay.
Was that 50 or 15?
15. It's like the next hut over. Yeah.
Okay. Alistair's just gonna make like he's like spreading out an area to work, and just that's kind of what he's doing for the next couple minutes.
Is where she's staying in the same direction as where Thalen is, or the opposite direction?
The opposite direction. Yeah. Thalen's nearby her hut and where she will be, but the hut where she will be is marginally further away. As you're clearing out a space, she looks and whatever you paint in 2 dimensions will become real in 3. However, it does not make sound or animate on its own. You may need to think creatively, create an appropriate illusion. He expects her to want to be married, and she expects her to give him solace and comfort. But I fear that if he discovers it to be an illusion, he will be very angry. So perhaps we should think of a way for Nang Nang to disappear.
We got it. Thanks.
We'll figure it out.
We'll talk it out.
Great.
We'll come get you if we need help with the ideas.
And she slaps her paws together. She says, you will know when the ritual begins. You will hear it. And she walks out. And with that, I think, we can call
So I'll DM next week, or
it.